Hey guys, what's up? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a early morning live stream. So usually I don't do earlier like this, but I've been wanting to go live for like the last few days, and it's just not worked out for different reasons. So I decided to go live early. Now, I do want to say before I really get into this and check out chat and all of that, this is going to be not the most professional live stream ever because I do have my 2 year old. She is awake. You guys may hear her in the background. She may grace us with her presence. Me being a mother, I may have to get up and get her something to drink or get a snack or, just different things. So if that bothers you for whatever reason, then maybe skip this live stream. I will do like I usually do. And after the live stream, it'll be up for a couple of hours if you can't watch the whole thing. And then afterwards, it'll go to members only. I will clip the best parts or the parts that I think are worth a conversation that I think maybe you guys may be interested in seeing. And then I'll re-upload those. So I just wanted to let you guys know that my 2 year old is up. But how is everyone? Good morning. I got my coffee. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I got my school age kids on the bus, and I was going to go live then, but I thought it was too early. I don't know. I was like, who's going to be up at 6 unless they have to go to work or something like that? So I decided to wait a couple of hours. But I'm going to turn to chat, and then we're going to jump honestly right into this. There's a lot to talk about. Like I said, I wanted to go live the last few days and I just haven't been able to, but there is a lot to talk about. I want to hear what you guys think about so many different things. And yeah, so I'm going to turn to chat real quick and say hey to everybody. Bliss Chris, good morning. I'm so glad you could make it. Hello, hello. I hope you're having a great morning. Let's see. Let me scroll down here. Good morning, Rochesverse. Good morning, Victoria. Elida? Is it Alida or Elida? Binge with Brittany. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. So like I said, yeah, 5 a.m. Bliss Chris. 5 a.m. Yeah, I have to get up early because the kids, and it's the craziest thing because we live like 5 minutes from the kids' school, but for some ungodly reason, they have to get on the bus so early and they get off the bus fairly early. Now, last year they got on the bus really, really early and then they got off the bus really, really late. So it was insane because we live right down the road. So that kind of sucked. I started taking them to school for a little bit, but this year the schedule changed just a little. And so now they still get on the bus fairly early, but they get off. They're like the first people off. So that's awesome. I never get a nap. I have a 2 year old, okay? And unless she's napping, I don't get a nap. And her napping schedule is so weird. Like, sometimes she'll take a nap, sometimes she won't. She's going through this phase right now where she'll get really tired, but she'll fight it. She'll fight it so bad, and then she just will not take a nap. So if she lays down, I might possibly get a little cat nap, but even when she is laying down, that's the craziest part about it because when I can take a nap, that's my allotted time to do things that I want to do on my channel or to clean the house or just whatever, research, whatever it is. So I feel like there's just not enough hours in the day. And I just can't get everything done. So my schedule is so off. I'll stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning, get a couple hours of sleep. Not every night, but I'm up at least till midnight every night, and then I'm right back up by like 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I sleep in until 5:30. But yeah, and honestly, it just is my schedule because like I said, when it comes to my channel and doing research and editing and doing all of these things, I wait till the kids go to bed, or if they are napping or something like that. And it doesn't give me a lot of time to do what I want to do. And I try to keep content pushed out for you guys. I love what I do. I love creating content. I love talking with you guys. And it's not really work, in my opinion, because I love it. But at the same time, it is a schedule. I have to kind of work around other things to get it done. So that is insanely early. Yeah, to some people, I'm kind of used to it now. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of used to the schedule. I've been doing it for so long. So yeah. Oh, girl, I get it. Definitely not enough hours in the day. Mine outgrew naps, but we do quiet time for an hour every afternoon. She can sit in her room and read or have her tablet. Yeah, well, and we do something similar to that. So even if she doesn't take a nap, I do lay her down and she has that quiet time. I'll turn it, she is obsessed with Coco Melon. So I'll turn that on for her and then she'll watch that and she's content and she gets to kind of rest, and sometimes she'll go to sleep, sometimes she won't. So I totally get quiet time. Love me some quiet time. With that being said, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the first thing that I have on the docket, if you will. And that is, of course, the update with Brian Laundrie. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably following the Gabby Petito case. It is international. Literally everyone that I know has been following it, myself included. And yesterday was a lot of things happened yesterday. I don't know exactly how I feel about it. I have mixed emotions about it, but it is the first thing I want to talk to you guys about. So I am going to actually be reading an article because I want to give you guys the facts. I made sure this is a legitimate news source. It's WFLA. That's where I get a lot of my updates on this case. And most of you are probably already up to speed on this. This is information from yesterday, but I want to go ahead and read it and then we can talk about our thoughts on it. How's everyone feeling? And then of course, I'll tell you how I feel as well. So after weeks of searching, authorities have located partial human remains in the Carlton Reserve, along with items that do belong to Brian Laundrie. So that is not like a question. It is definitely Brian Laundrie's items, the person of interest in the murder of his fiancee, Gabby Petito. Earlier yesterday, investigators found what appears to be human remains along with personal items such as a backpack and notebook belonging to Brian Laundrie. Michael McPherson, I think is how you say it, chief of the Tampa FBI office, said at a news conference Wednesday, "I know you have a lot of questions, but we don't have all the answers yet. We are working diligently to get those answers for you." The Sarasota County Medical Examiner's Office on Wednesday confirmed it had been called to the Maya-Hackey Creek Environmental Park, a heavily wooded area that connects to the Carlton Reserve. Both entrances to the Maya-Hackey Park had been blocked off. An FBI team, the Northport Police Department, and a mobile command unit from the Lee County Sheriff's Office were also seen at the site Wednesday. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office confirmed it was assisting as well. Stephen Bertolino, an attorney for Brian Laundrie's family, told NBC News that the remains found at the reserve were likely those of Brian Laundrie. He said there was a strong possibility the remains were Brian's, but wanted to wait for forensics to weigh in. According to Bertolino, Laundrie's father, Chris, had found a bag containing some of Brian's items, and officers found his backpack and the remains on the other side of the trail. Chris and Roberta will wait for the forensic identification of the human remains before making any additional comments, Bertolino told On Your Side Wednesday as well. It still may be a while before authorities, confirm whether or not the remains are Laundrie's. In terms of the timeline, investigators told 8 News it'll take around 48 hours, maybe less. It could take less time if the investigators were able to establish a DNA profile when they searched Brian's home last month. If they have a fingerprint, they may be able to identify his remains in a matter of hours. With a dental imprint, it could take up to a day. If they have to extract DNA from the bones or remains, it could take around a week. Laundrie is the only person of interest in the murder of his fiancee, Gabby Petito, who was found dead last month, a week after being reported missing. Now, from there, I'm sure you guys know the rest of the story. I'm not going to read the rest of it. I'm sure, like I said, a lot of us have been following this. Yesterday, I watched it as it broke. I've been staying up to date with it. I've not been talking a lot about it on my channel. Well, I have been talking about, other channels who have been exploiting this case and just the nastiness circulated around that. But when it comes to updates, I've not really talked a lot about it. I think I did one video with just the facts, very quick 4-minute video giving you guys the facts, but I didn't want to update you guys until something happened in the case. And I don't think, why would I get on my channel, right? And talk about every little thing that happens. Oh, well, he's in Toronto, he's in Tennessee. Oh, well, he was in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida, all in 24. That isn't factual. So instead of doing that, I decided I'm going to wait until we know the facts. And this is the facts. This is what has happened. It's big. These are big events, and I have, like I said, very mixed emotions. So I'm going to turn to the chat. How are you guys feeling about it? For those of you who have been following this, what does this information mean to you? Do you believe, us just talking here, if it is Brian Laundrie, what does this mean? Like, what do you believe? Does that mean that there is no justice for Gabby? Or will we get more information now? Will the FBI actually be a little bit more transparent and let us know what they know? Or what? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and go up here and look. And let's see. Oh, Righteous, I get up at 5 only because it takes me a minute before I can start getting ready for work. My brain is so foggy first thing. Yeah, I used to be the same way, Righteous Verse. I've never been a morning person, but I don't know. As I get older, and I know that sounds so silly, but as I get older, I've gotten used to it, I guess you could say. I've definitely gotten used to it. So it doesn't bother me as much. But I used to be the same way. And on the weekends when the hubby is home, you best believe my butt is sleeping in. Y'all are lucky to get in touch with me before 11. And that's no joke. No joke. On a Saturday morning, yeah. Bliss Chris says, oh my God, hold on. Let me go back up. Let me go back. Okay. Oh my God, that pointless FBI press conference. Yeah. I felt the same way. So like I said, I watched it as it broke. And then when the press conference happened, of course I was watching it. I think a lot of us were, and we didn't really learn anything more. Yes, it was confirmed, but we already knew, all these news stations were already talking about it. NBC broke it first, and then WFLA was really close behind. And we already knew that information. They didn't really give us much more information. I think what we did learn from that press conference was that the items found were indeed Brian Laundrie's items. That was something we weren't completely sure of. The FBI, the way they said it was definitely Brian's stuff. So the likelihood, and me and my husband were talking about this too, the likelihood of it being Brian Laundrie's remains. My husband, I love him to death, but he is a conspiracy, a theory, however you say it. He's definitely into conspiracies. So he was sitting there saying, well, what if the parents have planted this stuff? And what if trying to, and I'm like, really? Like, what is the likelihood of that? Yeah, sure, it's possible, but I'm more of a realistic person. And that's why I don't come on here and speculate about things like this. I'm more realistic, and the likelihood is more than likely, in my opinion, okay, it's probably Brian Laundrie's remains. And I just kind of already have that in my head. So when they do come out with that information, if that does happen to be the case, I'm not really going to be surprised. To be quite honest with you guys, and this is just my what I've thought from the beginning, and I'm just being transparent with you guys. When it first all happened and Gabby Petito went missing and all of this stuff, I had a feeling in my like I felt it in my bones that Gabby was no longer with us. Of course, I was hoping for a different outcome, but I felt it. I felt as if she wasn't, and she wasn't. And for the last couple of weeks, for the last week or so, I have felt the same way about Brian Laundrie. I just feel like, as big as this case is, if he was still alive, the likelihood, once again, of him not being spotted or any type of anything coming forward is very, very slim. I'm not saying it's impossible. People do it all the time. Well, not all the time, but there are cases where people get away with doing things. But the likelihood that is very slim, in my opinion. Victoria said it's all suspicious on his family's end, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's what and it is. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say it isn't. It definitely is. That's another thing I have mixed emotions about, because if this does turn out to be Brian Laundrie's remains, there's a part of me, and you guys know the way I am. I see the human in everyone, I guess you could say. And of course, I would feel bad for his family, even after everything. And I know that's going to make someone mad, and I'm sorry, but the thought of losing a child is just, it's heartbreaking. And so my heart will go out to them to an extent, but I firmly believe that they know more than what they're letting off. I firmly believe that. And I do believe that they helped him in some way get a head start or whatever. I also believe, in the beginning of this, if you guys remember, they say that they left a note or something for Brian saying, please don't do anything stupid. Please don't hurt yourself. I do believe that there was a part of them very concerned about his well-being and what he was going to do. But with that being said, I also do believe that they knew way more than what they let off. I believe that they definitely knew what happened, in my personal opinion, and that is speculation. We don't know. But I do think they knew more than what they let off. And I think that that's why they lawyered up and they have been very, very quiet. Um, but in saying that, anybody, the thought of losing a child, being a mother myself, it is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking, and my heart goes out to them in that realm, in that instant. You know, when it comes to the idea of this being Brian Laundrie, it is kind of disappointing, because in my opinion, even with all the information that may come out from the FBI, it still feels like if this is him, there is no justice for Gabby. And that's how it feels to me. It's kind of very disappointing, because when you do something like this, I feel like that is what's the word? Oh my goodness, what am I trying to say? What is the word? Easy way out. It's the easy way out. And he should have he should have had to answer for what he done instead of running. And if indeed these are his remains, we don't know what happened, but if indeed that is the case, I just feel like that's frustrating. That's outraging. There's a part of me that's very angry to the fact that, we've all been following this case. We all feel very personal, a personal connection to this case at this point, because of the fact that, you know, so many different things. And to think that this is the end of the case, basically, and that there will not be justice, that is outraging. Shelly Belly said, I hope we get some answers from Brian's notebook. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Someone did bring up a good point, that they did say it was underwater. This was a location that had been underwater for quite some time. And so the probability of it not being waterlogged is very slim as well. But they have forensics, they have all this stuff. So as long as they may be able to piece it together, they may be able to look at it and really like do their work, do their due diligence. Oh my goodness. You guys know what I'm saying, and be able to get some answers and see what it says. There could have been notes in there for all we know. There could have been a lot of stuff in there. From what I've seen on the internet, Brian read some really dark stuff. He drew some dark stuff. He put some really dark quotes on the internet. So we may be able to get some answers when it comes to that stuff. I hope so. Bliss Chris says, I do believe it's Brian Laundrie. I, of course, wish the Gabby. Oh, StreamYard, y'all. Let me go back up. Okay. Goodness. Hold on. Go up, go up, go up. I hate that when I'm in the middle of reading a comment and then it just goes, whew. It'll update all at once and just, ugh, it's annoying. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm almost. Okay. The Petito family had him to get answers. I'm going to show it on the screen here. But I am not mad if he, but I ain't mad if he is dead. I don't think he would have satisfied their questions anyways. Yeah, I mean, if he's willing to run away and hide, you're right. We may have never known what actually happened. He may have never given us the full information. There's a lot of cases that go down like that too, where the person never speaks, or they only like 30 years later, when their time is running up, they may give some information. So you're absolutely right when it comes to that. Yeah, you're right. Rochester said, I read this was the first place the family told them to look. The pictures of them wading through the marsh a few weeks ago, or a few weeks back, is the same area. Have you heard that? What I heard was this was an area that they were not able to look at because the water was up so high, so they were able to really get in there and look around. And then the family was like, from what I heard, the family had told them different locations that Brian liked to go to, and some of those locations were underwater, so they couldn't really like do a thorough, investigation into some of those areas. And I did see aerial footage as well. A lot of it was underwater. Florida always gets a lot of rain, but there for a couple of weeks it was really bad. And so, but maybe Russia's verse, they may have already been there. I haven't heard that. I've not heard anything like that. All I know is that the family had basically went directly to this place yesterday, and that is where they found everything. Bliss Chris said, and yes, the Laundrie family is sus AF. Yeah, definitely sus. I don't believe in coincidences, and there is way too many of those with that family as far as them knowing / helping, in my opinion, allegedly. Yeah, I agree. And see, I'm the same way when it comes to coincidences. There's no such thing as a coincidence. I don't know. That's how I kind of feel about it. Like if there's so many different things connected, you know what I mean? It's like, at what point does it not become a coincidence anymore? And someone's just not giving information. And that's how I felt about it from the beginning, because they lawyered up quick, So yeah, I definitely feel the same way. They know more, and maybe now, I don't know. But like I said, the FBI knows way more than what we know. And so maybe if it is his remains, if nothing else, maybe we will get more answers to certain questions that we as a whole, as the public has had, number one. And number two, there's a possibility that Cassie Laundrie may come out with a little bit more information of like conversations she had with Brian at the campground, because I can't believe that it was not brought up. Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby? I just can't believe that. And so I do feel like Cassie may have told the FBI, but she did not say anything publicly. And this may, if nothing else, maybe she'll come forward and share more. There's so many possibilities when it comes to this case. So it's insane. Shelly Bailey said, and I definitely think that the parents have acted very sketchy. It's weird that they found Brian's stuff the day the parents go out to search. Yeah, and that's what my husband said as well. We kind of got not into an argument, but a heated discussion, because like I said, my husband, he's very much into conspiracies, and there's, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just not like that. I want to hear the facts on things, and I kind of gather my opinion based off of that. And I try not to, like, of course I speculate about things as well, just not when it comes to like the parents planted this or something like that. I would think that the FBI was with them when they went out there. I seriously doubt that they went by themselves. I know there was a news article that stated that they went to search without the FBI. Now, this, like I said, I don't know if it's true, you guys. This is just what an article said, and my husband told me about it, and the FBI showed up. That's possible, that could have happened. But I feel like with this being as active as it is and everything to do with it, once again, the probability of the FBI allowing them to go out there by themselves, that's very slim. And if they did allow that, that's an issue. Like, this police department needs to get it together. Like, if they are allowing things like that to happen, that's no, especially as questionable as their behavior has been. I wouldn't let them go searching anywhere for him without assistance. So, yeah. Claudia said, at the moment, I'm still trying to process this new information regarding Brian. There are no winners here, and it is such a tragic story. Yeah, Claudia, it really, really is. As this information came out yesterday, I was just so many different emotions, right? So, like, of course, I'm angry in a sense, um, for Gabby's family. It's a sad situation all the way around. I can only imagine what they're feeling right now, because they did say in their Dr. Phil interview and many other times in different interviews that they wanted him to be found alive. They wanted justice for Gabby. They wanted him to answer for what he done, and they wanted more answers. And uh, it just sucks. If this is his remains, it sucks. It is tragic. So, so tragic. The coward took the easy way out. Yep. I was thinking the same thing, Donna. Um, don't mean to sound bad, but the parents could have planted it. Yeah, that's I was just saying that. My husband said the same thing. Um, and no, like, you don't sound bad. I think a lot of people, your mind goes there. Your mind goes there, especially after everything the parents have done, or what it seems like they've done. So your mind definitely wonders. I heard that the family hired a psychic who led them to that specific area, and they did a walkthrough Tuesday of the area. What? And then Wednesday morning, where did you hear this at, Blitz? See, and this is what I've been talking about, like, when it comes to different outlets and different channels and all this. I'm not saying that's not true, but I've not heard anything of that nature. So I find that very, very amusing. I'm not going to say it's false because I don't know. But like I said, I have been following this and I've been following it closely with legit news sources. And I have not heard anything like that. But this just goes back to like what I've been saying about all these different outlets and the things that they say. It's just, it's crazy. You can take one bit, like you can take a fact, right? And tell one person, and then that person is going to add something to it and tell someone else. And by the time it gets out to the public, you're getting like this crazy stretched story with only like bits of facts in there. And yeah, I mean, it's possible, I guess, but I don't think that the FBI, I don't think the FBI would use a psychic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they would turn to a psychic. Or you said the family hired a psychic. Even if that's the case, the FBI is the one searching for him. If the family is helping, okay, but I seriously doubt that the FBI is allowing them to do all this on their own due to everything going on. Someone's there assisting, and I just don't know if the FBI would be like, oh, okay, oh, your psychic that you hired said he could be here. Well, let's go. Once again, I could be wrong, you guys, but I just don't know if that's factual. Shelly Belly said, but thank you for sharing that with me, Bliss Chris. Thank you so much. You think the parents would have been alone though? Oh, wait. So you think the parents would have been alone though? I feel like they would have had cops searching with them. Yes, Shelly, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that. No, I think that the cops or, authorities, someone was out there with them. I seriously doubt, in my personal opinion, and everything that I have read on it, right? I've not heard anything, any videos from actual legit news sources saying anything like that. It has definitely been authorities and his family found items, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think the parents were there by themselves. Um, from what we know publicly, factually, that is not the case. Maybe more information will come out, I don't know. But as of right now, I have not heard anything like that. Not from a legit news source, no. And I agree, Shelly Belly. I would like to think they would not allow that, especially after everything. Ratchet's verse said his parents' reaction is a tad strange. No matter what, wouldn't you be sad if one of your kids? Yeah, yeah, and I get that they're like keeping quiet, especially if they do know more. But how, if your son's really missing or whatever, how can you not say something? Say something, even if it's just, Brian, if you see this, please come home. We'll figure all this out. They didn't have to say anything about anything, but they could have pleaded, because from what we know, Gabby's phone and Brian's old phone were never confiscated. So someone still has that stuff, and more than likely it was Brian. So he had ways of seeing media, allegedly, possibly, and for them to not even like reach out and try was very odd to me. It was very strange to me that they didn't even try to put a plea out there. Um, and that made me think maybe they were, just speculation here, but that made me think maybe they had been in contact with him. But the last week, the family has been way more active when it comes to trying to find him. So I think there was a turn somewhere, a chain of events. Maybe they hadn't heard from him or whatever, like I said, just speculation, but something made them think, okay, I'm really starting to get worried about him. Something isn't right. He's still not came home. We've not heard from him, whatever it was. And that made them want to participate in some, manner and start looking for him. So, everybody deals with things differently, but it's definitely strange. Definitely strange. Hey, Melissa, thanks for hopping on. Happy Thursday to you as well. Good morning. I hope all of you are having an amazing Thursday morning. So far, it's been a good one. Baby's in there playing with toys. So let's see. If someone gets mad at you for having a normal human emotion, such as empathy for any parent that has lost a child, regardless of the circumstances, then F them. Yeah, and see, that's the thing is the internet can be a rough place. So I try to be transparent with you guys, but some people do get upset about that kind of thing and they have a difference of opinion. And, it's crazy anymore. A difference of opinion will start a war on the internet. If you think differently, people get mad. They get mad. They drag it to the ends of the earth. But hopefully, most of you understand where I'm coming from. It's not a matter of like anything other than just being a mother and knowing like how I would feel. My baby. Dada. No, it's not Dada. Yeah. Okay, so Bliss Chris says, Shelly, it takes 1 second. Dada. It takes 1 second for the cops to be looking in another direction and someone be placing something in a bush. Just saying. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And I'm not going to take away from it. I told my husband the same thing. I'm not going to take away from the fact that it's possible. It's in the, like WFLA says so much. And that's, like I said, where I get a lot of my coverage. It's in the realm of possible, right? So I'm not going to take away from that. But in my personal opinion, it's like the probability for me is unlikely. But hey, I've been wrong before. I'm not going to sit here and say, you're wrong, like I'm not going to do that because it is possible. Claudia said the odds definitely are that he must have said something to his parents while he was with them. Oh yeah. Like I done been in that, Yes, Ratchet's verse. Yes. If it is him, he's probably answering for it now. Not to sound judgy. No, I mean, I feel the same way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Melissa said, Bliss Chris, I have a lot of empathy for. Oh, see, StreamYards. Good morning, Gingerly. Okay, awesome. It'll be up for a couple of hours, and then like I said earlier, I will like clip it and put the parts that I think everyone will be interested in, because I know not everyone likes the longer format and not everyone likes the background noise, but this is just a really laid back chat, you guys. It's not meant to be extremely professional. We're just talking. So yeah, but I know not everybody's into that. So I do try to clip the parts that I think is worth a conversation and worth putting out there and that people would want to hear and share their opinions on. Claudia, even if the authorities were complete the perimeters, there's no way the parents would have been allowed to be on. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, I just don't see it being probable. But hey, Chronic Space, thanks for being here. Thank you. Welcome to the live. I'm trying to go up, and so I'm reading chat kind of backwards, you guys, because it did that thing again. Yeah, the psychic thing has been discussed a few times. JB and the lady who was co-hosting with yesterday talked about it in another outlet. I can't remember. Maybe it was an NBC. So, okay, I'll have to go back and look, okay? But were they saying that this was a fact, or did someone ask it? Because you know how they'll ask people, the viewers will ask questions. So was someone just asking a question about the psychic and they were talking about it? I think you're talking about Mazda was on there, I'm pretty sure, or however you say her name. Were they just talking about it in that sense and answering a question, or were they saying it as a fact? That is something I'll definitely research. And if well, I guess I could look it up right now. Hold on. I'll look it up real quick. But yeah, I watched the majority of that stream and I didn't hear anything like that. I've also read a lot of different news articles as well, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it isn't possible or that it isn't true. I'm just saying that that's not information I've heard. But once again, Bliss Chris, I appreciate you putting it out there because I'm gonna look it up for sure. Okay, psychic, and we'll find out. We'll find out right now. Leads. Okay, we're gonna look it up right now. Right now. Sorry, guys. I know I'm looking down here and the camera's here, but I'm using a different camera, so I'm sorry if it looks like I'm looking down a lot. I apologize. Keebler said, my question is, did the parents ever mention that specific trail before, or did they wait until just now to make others aware of it? So what I heard, okay, and once again, this is not, I don't know if it's fact, but from what I heard from different news sources and things like that is the parents had told the authorities different areas that he could be a few weeks ago. And then when they went out searching the Carlton Reserve, they searched a lot of different areas, but that some of those areas were underwater, so they couldn't search thoroughly. They couldn't really search like they needed to. And then once the water resided or went down a little bit, the parents mentioned it again and said, hey, we could check these areas again. This is an area that he hung out in a lot. So that is what my takeaway is from what I've seen and heard. But so from what I've heard, that it had been mentioned before, but the water and everything like that, they were not able to really search it the way it needed to be searched. So yeah. But let me look this up real quick and see what we can find on it because I want to give you guys the facts. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put out information that isn't factual. Um, okay. So NBC New York. What? So there's a lot of psychic readings on YouTube, but none of them are TikTok psychic claiming to channel Gabby Petito's good. There's so many psychics that's been. I feel very not good about that too. Like I really just don't like it, to be honest with you guys. Um, yeah, Bliss Chris, I'm not. I'm gonna click on this. I'm not seeing anything stating that the family hired a psychic and that the psychic led them to this area. I'm not, and I'm scrolling through. What's wrong? Hold on, guys. 1 second. She's crying over a blanket. Let me get her a blanket. Okay, I'm back. She was freaking out over a blanket. Okay, so I'm looking through here, Bliss Chris, and they visited Brian Laundrie's family home, possibly the form of a note. I am not seeing anything, and I put in exactly what you said. Psychic leads family to Brian Laundrie, leads authorities to Brian Laundrie. I've looked up a couple of different ones. Family hires psychic. I looked that up. And I'm not seeing anything on it. But that's not, once again, I'm not saying it's not factual. I don't have enough information to say one way or the other. And I will try to look into it a little bit later as well to see if I can find anything. Wildflower TWLFA talked about the, okay. Share it. If you can find it, Bliss Chris, share it on my Discord and I'll check it out after the live. Okay, so if I'm missing anybody's chat, I apologize. StreamYards is such a pain sometimes, and it just updates really weird. So Claudia said, even if the authorities were complete amateurs, there's no way the parents would have been allowed to go out there on their own. I may have read that one already. Yeah, but I agree. I definitely agree. Keebler said that part of the park was open to the public at that point. So I don't think that the authorities would have a legal basis to prevent them from looking on their own. Good point, Keebler. That's a really good point. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Because if I'm not mistaken, they had opened up the park the day before, so it had just opened back up, and now it's closed back down because of this. Now the only thing about it is where they found the backpack, right, is very close to where they found the partial human remains, or what appears to be human remains. They said that they strongly believed that it was Brian Laundrie. That's what the Brian's attorney stated. Sure, there's a possibility it's not human remains, but they seem pretty certain it was human remains. So that's the part that's really questionable to me. So even if for the possibility that the parents had planted something or someone put something there that happened to be Brian's, right? That's the part that's like very questionable to me. That's the part that it's like, okay, that may explain that, but what about this? What about the partial human remains? Being not far away from these articles of clothing and stuff. That's the part where it's like, definitely questionable. I just, the I don't know. I just don't know. All right, so let's see. So that's basically, hey Moonchild, hey BX, hey LB, hey everybody. Wow. I didn't even, StreamYards is such a pain in the butt because it's like, I don't know if any other creators have this issue, but for me, and it may just be my connection. Can everybody hear me okay? Because for me, it'll show me like so many, and then I'll get to the bottom of that and think, okay, all the chats are good. And then next thing I know, it's like 30 different chats just all at once. And yeah, so faked. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure LB said, let me go up. Okay. Listening while getting ready for the dentist. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I may have missed it, but Wildflower, what's your thoughts on them finding a body? Do you think it's him? A part of me thinks the family is going to, fake his death. Then the rational side of me is saying, yeah, that's actually what we've been talking about, LB, is our thoughts on that. So, and I'm with you. Like, me and my husband were talking about it last night, and my husband was very much on the idea of, oh, well, the parents, they faked all this, they planted this information, da 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 da, and I'm more of like a realistic, and I don't mean this, like you said, a rational person, or the rational side of me. Of course, that crossed my mind. Do not get me wrong, it's crossed my mind. But then when I think more into it, I'm like, well, the probability of, okay, like I was just saying, okay, they found the backpack, but what about the human remains? Yeah, sure, it's possible that they also planted that, but that's really weird. And then that's gonna, like, there's a lot of questions that come with that if something like that happens. So it's like, I don't know. In reality, I just feel like I don't think that that's what happened, but I could be wrong, right? But none of us know right now. But yeah, and once again, BX, thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. Okay. I missed a whole bunch of chats. So I'm going to try to scroll up just a little bit, and then we'll kind of like segue into the Todd Chrisley stuff, because I want to talk to you guys about that stuff too. Gosh, there's just a whole bunch. I feel like in the last 24 to 48 hours, there's been a lot of disappointing stuff. For me, anyways, there's a lot of like mixed emotions, disappointment, or feeling a little bit disappointed about some stuff. And this is definitely one of them. Like, if it is him, there's a part of me that just feels really disappointed. Because of course I would have loved them to be able to find him alive and to actually answer a lot of the questions that I think a lot of us had, and answer for this, like answer this shit. Like, nothing outrages me more than when someone does something like this and then runs from it, and to take the easy way out. I mean, we don't know, right? But it's just, outraging. A part of me is really outraged about the simple fact that he took the easy way out. If indeed it is him, that's how I feel. I can't help it. I just can't help it. So yeah, Melissa Brown said, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but as a historian, can respect that they express some emotional truth. It is easier to believe that the people or parents and people standing in the way of justice for Gabby than the more realistic truth, which is that real detective work is difficult and too often justice isn't served and it's no one's fault. Yeah, I agree. I really do agree, Melissa. I couldn't have said it better myself, to be honest with you. Could not have said it better myself. All right, I want to go up just a little bit. I have a feeling it's not going to be Brian's remains, just my speculation. Very possible. Moonchild, that is so possible, and that's why I can't sit here and say. But in my heart, I feel like it's going to turn out to be him, just from the statement that the attorney made. And the way that they handled it yesterday, it felt very much kind of like the first press conference of Gabby Petito's, when they didn't say for a fact it was her, but they did say. Now the difference was in that they did say that there was consistent, like the remains they found was consistent to the description of Gabby Petito. But that's another thing me and my husband was talking about, and I know it's like too early to get to, too into it, but we don't know what they found. I would think the way that they said it lets us know it wasn't much. And it obviously wasn't something that made it very, very obvious that it was or wasn't Brian. It wasn't something that made it very obvious that it was even human remains, or they wouldn't have said what appears to be. They would have said, oh yeah, for sure, human remains. But they said it, and they said it in a way very carefully. So what was it? And of course I thought that. I was like, well, and I'm sorry once again, like trigger warning, whatever. But it wasn't a foot or a hand, because then it would have been obvious, or something like that. So what was it? What did they find? But I do believe it is human remains. But once again, that's just that rational side of me. But I totally get what you're saying too, Moonchild. There is a possibility that it's not. But in my mind, it's like I've already told myself it is, but I could be wrong. So, okay, I don't want to say that I missed anybody. I hate when I miss chat sometimes, you guys, because I want to make sure that I'm acknowledging all of y'all, and sometimes that can be really hard. I did. So Keebler said that part of the park was open to the public at that point. Okay, yeah, I read that. Okay, I think I got everybody. All right, so let me scroll back down and just make sure no more came through, and then we're going to kind of segue this, you guys, into Nancy Hill said, I'm waiting to hear if it's his DNA. Same. I'm talking to you guys just back and forth about it, but I'm not going to jump on anything until I know the facts. So I'm just waiting. We're all just impatiently waiting. Righteous Verse said, I wonder how many remains are in the nature reserve. Yeah. And see, that's another thing my husband said is, didn't they find, like just a couple of weeks ago, they found someone else's remains or body, and they said that it was a self-inflicted thing, but it was not Brian Laundrie. So, I mean, there is no telling. There's literally no telling. But I don't know. With it being so close to the other items, I think that's where my mind definitely is like, I'm not going to be surprised if they say it's Brian, guys. And I'm just being honest. I'm not going to be surprised about it. Let's see. Okay. So LB said, what makes me think, sorry, y'all. What makes me think it may be him is because when they found the other body, none of this happened. It was said they found a body, then immediately after that it wasn't him. Yeah, you're up. You are right. But this takes me back to the items they found. I think that they believe, kind of like I do, is you find all this stuff that is definitely Brian Laundrie's, because that's what we did find out from the press conference, is this is definitely, that was definitely Brian's stuff. Whether people believe it was planted there, whether people believe whatever, okay, authorities found it, authorities say it's definitely Brian's stuff. And there's like all this stuff, clothes, notebook, backpack, whatever, okay. And then not far down the line there, they find partial human remains, or what appears to be. So they may be just believing like me, rationally, yeah, I think it's him, I also think, depending on how much of whatever it was that they found, they probably have already like found out, and they just haven't said anything yet. I'm hoping, because from that article, I'm going to read it one more time, because I know a few, not the whole thing, but there was one part of it I do want to reread to you guys. Because I know there's a few new people in here, and I don't know if you guys have heard it or anything like that. So I'm going to reread just the last part here, that I just read, because, let me go back to it. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to go back to it because, what was it that I put in? Man, there's so many articles on this, you guys. So many people are saying so many different things. It's crazy. Oh, hush. Okay. Let's go back down here. Sorry, y'all. I'm slow. I'm sorry. I'm slow. Okay. Okay. I just want to read this one part here. Just so that we can it says, I know you have a lot of questions. This is the press conference yesterday. I know you have a lot of questions, but we don't have all the answers yet. And this is what McPherson said. We are working diligently to get those answers for you. A On Your Side reached out to Stephen Bertolino, the attorney representing the Laundrie family, after the FBI's press conference. Chris and Roberta will wait for the forensic identification of the human remains before making any additional comments. Several hours before the news conference with the FBI, the Sarasota County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed that it had been called out to the Maya Hackey Creek Environmental Park by police. The environmental park connects to the Carlton Reserve, where the search for Laundrie has been focused for more than a month now. Search crews had previously cited difficulties maneuvering through the massive area due to sections being underwater. Bertolino told A On Your Side both of Laundrie's parents went to the Maya Hackey Creek Environmental Park to search for Brian on Wednesday. So they did, it appears they did go, or the way that I'm reading this, they did go by themselves. He said the FBI and the Northport Police Department met the parents there at the park Wednesday morning. After a brief search off of a trail that Brian frequently used, some articles belonging to Brian were found. In addition to the medical examiner's office, FBI team in Northport Police Department, a mobile command unit from the Lee County Sheriff, they were all assisting this. The Pasco County Sheriff Office confirmed that they were assisting as well. Northport PD has once again requested a human remain detection canine to assist with the search today. We sent an HRD canine team and 2 spotters to ensure the safety of the team during this time. The couple had set off. Okay, yeah, and I think that's yeah. Both entrances to the park, which was reopened on Tuesday. So it literally just reopened, y'all. That's the thing, is it just opened back up to the public. after being closed for nearly a month were blocked off by Northport police on Wednesday. So yeah, there is definitely a lot of questionable things, right? So it just opened. The parents went on their own. Like, I get it. I get why everybody feels, some type of way about it. I do. But we just don't know yet. We just don't know yet. Hey, True Helper. Okay. Good morning. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I feel a lot better today. A lot better. Sociopaths cannot be rehabilitated. They can only mock rehabilitation. LBC, okay. All right. So yeah, that's the latest on that. That's kind of how I feel about it. I'm trying really hard not to speculate too much until we get more information, just because, man, I have a lot of questions. Don't get me wrong, guys. I have so many questions about it, just like everyone else does. But right now, it's just like, it could be like my husband, he said, there's the possibility that they did all of this, the parents or whoever done all of this to distract the police even more, and give Brian more time to, you guys, I just don't know, we just don't know. What I do know is if it is Brian, it's disappointing. It's really disappointing for Gabby's family. It really, really sucks. All right. Okay, so let's switch gears, you guys. Let's talk about the Todd Chrisley's documents that came out yesterday. I'm going to put a timer because we're switching conversations. I'm going to put up a countdown real quick so I can fill my coffee. Okay, and then we'll be right back to discuss even more kind of disappointing stuff. All right, so I'll be right back. Let me go ahead and go here. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, sorry guys. Woo. I was like running through the house like a mad person trying to get back to the camera. Oh, okay. I'll turn the camera back on in just a second. I had to go fix the baby's TV. Her cocoa melon went off. So, all right. So let's just get right into it. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen either LB's coverage or I believe True Sleuth and Emily D. Baker. Lots of people have already talked about Todd Chrisley's documents for this lawsuit, this defamation lawsuit against Katie Joy, aka Without a Crystal Ball. I do have a video coming out with like the full documents and like going over it and all of that stuff for anyone who hasn't seen it. Okay. But for now, anyways, I'm not gonna pull up the documents. We're just gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about like for if you have seen it, right? If you have seen it, you can leave your thoughts in the comments or in the chat here. I would love to hear what you guys think as well about these documents. I do have them pulled up. I'm gonna have them on my phone here so we can just talk about it. But it was disappointing. Like I stated, it I was disappointed, you guys. I think I expected more, honestly. Now, I kept an eye out for these documents, just like a lot of other people, like all day when it came out the other day, and nothing came out. And I was like, what's going on? And then thankfully, thanks to Emily D. Baker, she stated that this information actually was put out on Hip Pocket, which is like a private way that you can like put documents so that the public can't see it, and then the other person has so many days to respond before it actually goes to the public. So that's the way that this kind of transpired or whatever. And so that's why no one really could see the documents when they first came out and all of that. The message on self-destruct. True Helper, you're so funny. I'm sorry I had to wait a second, but I appreciate for anyone who did hang out for a minute. I told you at the beginning of this, I said this is going to be laid back. It's going to be different. My baby's up, so I do apologize. Like I said, if you guys ain't got time for it or whatever, I will try to clip it and re-upload without all the craziness in the background. But this is my life, y'all. This is my life. This is just how it is. So I apologize. I don't like that timer's attitude. True Helper. Oh my gosh. It seems all snobby, like a counting down line. Who is they? Does it? Oh, I love it. I love it, True Helper. I love it so much. Okay. You make me laugh so hard. Okay. You ain't got a lie, love. I know I'm back crap crazy and corny as hell, but thank you. No, I love it. You make me laugh. I love corny. I'm corny, so I love it. But anyways, so okay. So the document itself, the reason it disappointed me is because for the last couple of months or whatever, or not months, weeks, over on the Chrisley Confession podcast, which I do try to cover over here a great deal, Todd Chrisley has like been riling everybody up, making it out like it's going to be this big. Whoop, no, you can't press buttons. You can't press buttons. Making it out like this was like going to be a big deal, What's wrong? You want to sit with me? The baby's going to sit with me for a minute, y'all. Let me turn this off. Okay. Making it a big deal that here, sit down. You want to sit on my lap? There you go. That like he's been rallying all these people up, making a big deal about like how everything was going to go, this, that, and the third, talking about how he was going to bring all this stuff up in the lawsuit. You want to do it? Here, hold it. You want some? Here. You want to do it? Here, you do it. You're so silly. Anyways, making a big deal about getting all these people together that has been defamed by Katie and making it out like it was going to be this big thing. Well, since then, and maybe like I don't want to. This is another thing I don't want to jump to conclusions about. In this opening document with all of this, he really focused on the sex tape between his daughter Lindsay, and that's what majority of the document was about. Like I said, I am going to do a whole breakdown of this for anyone who isn't fully up to speed, but majority of this first document, right, showing defamation or whatnot, was about that sex tape. And it disappointed me because there were so many things that he mentioned in his podcast, so many things that he's been talking about that he was going to bring up when it comes to different things. And maybe it's very possible that it's just this is the opening thing. I don't know why he opened with this. Like, I have a lot of questions, but maybe they have a certain way they're going to be executing everything. So we'll see. But if you guys remember the other day, without a crystal ball, Katie Joy's drunken Instagram live stream that I shared on here, we talked about, like, I didn't say much, right? I didn't say much of like my opinions on what Katie was saying, because some of the stuff she was saying, it was like, okay, yeah, like, I see why she's saying this. Since this document came out, and the things that he's trying to get her for defamation on, it's like, it makes some of the stuff that Katie said in her video seem very relevant and very accurate. Katie said in that live stream that Todd is using her to try to get to Lindsay. And with this first opening document, you guys, or this first filing here, I believe that. I can totally see why Katie would think that. I watched Nate the lawyer cover this. I also watched Emily D. Baker cover it. Nate the lawyer, if you guys haven't watched anyone cover it, go check him out. Yes, Claudia. Yeah, I was just saying that. Go check out his video. I will link it in the description after this live. But I think he did amazing. He did amazing with it. And I definitely would suggest go checking him out. I think he was just very real about it. The reality is, if this is his argument, and that's usually what you start out with, right? When it comes to like filing something in lawsuits, you're going to start with the strongest point, your strongest argument. You're silly. I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute, guys. But I will be right back. But anyways, that's how I kind of feel about it. I feel like if this is his strongest argument, if this is what he's going for, it does make it look like Katie Joy wasn't lying in her drunken Instagram live stream. It seems, right, that he may be using Katie Joy to try to get to Lindsay. And I had that feeling before. Don't get me wrong. I had that feeling before. I'm being transparent with you guys. I don't have to like Katie Joy's behaviors on the internet, but I also am going to call out when people are doing shady things. And that document yesterday, in my opinion, was shady. It was very shady. And I believe that Katie Joy isn't lying. This goes back to, like, people, I've done videos in the past when people have called out certain things that I just didn't necessarily agree with, like when it came to her parenting or just different things. And look, we can all disagree. We can all have different opinions as long as we're doing so in a respectful manner. But yeah, I don't think it's okay to stoop that low. And I think that what Todd Chrisley is doing right now is shady. Okay. Now, with that being said, there is definitely a possibility that as this case goes on, if it does go on, more stuff will come out. Todd will make other points about things. But at the moment, I was very unamused with his document. I thought that it was, I was very disappointed. I don't know who all like follows his podcast, or if you guys just watch like my recaps or whatever. But either way, if you go watch any of my videos on his podcast and the stuff he's been saying, he's really been riling people up. I'm going to talk about this and that, the GoFundMe's, the this, the that, and there was nothing was in it. So I don't know if he's keeping that for a later day, if he's holding that for this class action. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go down yet. We do know that he's already got all these people together for a class action, allegedly, and that is a go. And so we'll see. We'll see if there's going to be more information coming out. If in the next thing that his attorney puts in or whatever, you know, like I said, I think Katie's attorneys has 20 days to respond. And Nate, the lawyer, stated this yesterday too. If she's smart, she'll go ahead and respond. Like, don't wait 20 days. Go ahead, put the response in, because that document was, what, you guys, it was awful. In my opinion, in my personal opinion, it was horrid. Even like the way that it was written, it was nothing like the Tati Westbrook, like what they did and the documents in that. It seemed very professional, very whatever. And I'm not talking smack about Todd Chrisley's attorneys or whoever, put the stuff in, but it was like, even like when they put in her name, you guys will see, because like I said, I'm going to do a video breaking it down. But the way he put her name and everything, it was just very thrown together, and it seemed to be mostly circulated around that sex tape and Lindsay, his daughter. So it's like, really, it was very disappointing. I'm not gonna lie about it. It was disappointing. What do you guys think? Have y'all seen anyone cover it? What are y'all's thoughts on it? I would love to hear what you guys think. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna look real quick because I think he did mention, let's see. I'm going to look real quick. Defamation per se. Mr. Chrisley incorporates by reference the foregoing paragraphs as if fully set forth herein and further allege as follows. Ms. Polson communicated the sex tape statements to many thousands of people through her various social media outlets. Sure, she did, but so did Dr. Phil and every other news station out there. Like, there was things, this is what's irritating about it, is other people covered this stuff too, but there were things that he could have went after her for, that she did cover as, her on her channel. That was real nasty. Her speculations on certain things and making it sound very factual. There were things that he could have went after her for, and maybe he still will. We don't know yet. But this was your opening argument. This was your opening to things. I don't know, you guys. Helen, thanks for being here. Hey there, I'm thinking this could be the calm before the storm, and maybe there's more to come with others as well. Mr. Todd and other members of his family. You're right, and that's what I'm saying too. I'm hopeful that that's what that this is just whatever. But either way, like, my big huge issue with it was, this was your opening argument out of all of the things, this felt very personal to Lindsay, and I'm just being honest. Hopefully, though, I am hopeful that there will be more, and that hopefully the next upcoming filings will be different. Claudia said, I think that's what he's trying to do. Oh yeah, okay. Well, and you guys could definitely be true. That could be true. Melissa said, well, he could be using it for that reason and it still have merit. So both things could be true. True. I just thought that it was kind of ironic, because if you guys remember in that live stream of hers, she did mention some of these things, and then this comes out, and it's like they do relate to one another. I can see what Katie was saying, and I'm just being honest, you guys. That's just my thoughts. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel about it. I was very under-amused by the filing. I'm not gonna lie. True Hilbert said, enjoy Nate the lawyer, but I'm biased. Oh, I've never heard of them. Mr. Reich? from Crime Talk is my favorite. I'll have to check him out for real. But why would he be using Katie to get to Lindsay? Um, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying by that filing, that's kind of how I feel about it. Just like Tati used Katie to get to Clark Swanson, right? Because Clark Swanson was what? A source, and they wanted that information. Katie dragged it out, and in the end, they got exactly what they wanted. So even though they lost the lawsuit due to jurisdiction or whatever, in a way, Tati still won because that was the information, in my opinion. I think that's what it was always about. They just wanted to find out who Katie's source was because Katie was getting all this information that was not true. Um, so it could very much be that as well. Katie has been saying for a long time, Lizzie's her BFF. Whenever she was reporting a lot of this, she basically said, Lizzie gave me all this information and then she reported all this stuff, right? So Todd could be doing the same thing Tati did in the sense of trying to get to Lindsay through Katie and wanting Katie to admit that Lindsay was the one giving all this information. And so far, um, Katie hasn't done that. She'll probably stretch this out as well. But I do think that that is Todd's big motive here because he thinks that if he can prove that and prove that Lindsay gave all this false information or whatever, that will also work in his favor for the other lawsuit. That's like his way of thinking, I believe. That's what I believe, you guys. Um, so that's how he would use Katie to get to Lindsay, in my personal opinion. But this is just the beginning. So we don't know yet. I'm just kind of going through my thought process as of right now. And this is my thought process as of right now. It could very much change once Katie replies. Maybe Todd is going to come back with some like real good stuff. You know what I mean? But this was just not amusing. I wasn't amused. I really wasn't. Let's see. Um, BTU, YouTube hates me as I never get notifications, but you're here now, so it's all good. Good morning. Oh, I miss BTU. Hey BTU, I didn't realize you were here. Oh, see, it's showing it a little bit further down for me. Hey, um, has anyone else? Let's see. Hear that Chase was involved in the threat to expose. Yeah, I heard that. That was towards the beginning. Lindsay stated some stuff like that, I think on Dr. Phil as well. Chase, of course, has denied it. Todd as well. Everyone's denying it. And I guess that's why this is like a big thing. But I don't know. I'm not saying I don't understand why it was brought up. That's really literally all it was. Most of this whole first filing was about that SEX tape. And I don't know. I expected something different. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I think Katie made it up. Lindsay didn't tell her anything. You think so? It's possible. I mean, Lindsay, I watch Coffee Convos as well. And I went back just for research purposes to look at these different episodes where Lindsay was publicly stating the things going on between her and her dad and giving statements. And she never mentioned Katie. Now, that could be on a purpose, like a purposeful tactic that she's using. Or maybe she didn't tell her anything. LB said, I didn't think of that, but that's true. Todd wants to prove that Lindsay was misreading false information to people in hopes to ruin him. KJ and DOR. So if he can prove she told Katie things that weren't true, then it would seem feasible. Yep. And see, that's kind of that's what I'm thinking. I think that was why. And once again, this is just my thought process. I know I keep saying that, but people get real offended when I ever say anything if it's not, you know, against Katie, and people get real offended, and I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just trying to be realistic here. And I was very underwhelmed by this first document. It was like, okay, this is your argument, but it does make sense in the fact of he's trying to get to Lindsay through Katie, and he's wanting Katie to tell whatever she knows, and so that's what I believe. I think that's why that's what they started with, and that was their opening argument. Does anyone know if her and Lindsay are even friends? According to Katie, but like I said, I went back for research purposes. As far as I have watched, Lindsay has never mentioned Katie. But Katie did seem to know quite a bit of stuff. And, as much as Lindsay hasn't confirmed that her and Katie are friends, she's also not confirmed they're not. And the way I feel about it is if they were not friends, right? And you got this mad woman on the internet saying, well, Lindsay Chrisley told me all this stuff. Lindsay said this, Lindsay said that. Lindsay's my BFF. Would Lindsay not, at least, if it wasn't true, would she not at least say, I don't know this woman, okay? Like this is her fight. This is between her and my dad. I don't know her. But she's not done that either. So even though she's not publicly stated that they were friends, she's also not detracted it, which makes you wonder, okay, maybe, Lindsay has given a lot of information, and maybe that's why Todd is going after her through Katie, because one thing we can all agree on is Katie has made sure to chime in every 3 seconds about how Lindsay's her BFF. That live stream the other day, it was like 30 minutes of just praising how great of a person Lindsay is. And so I do believe that her and Katie are friends, guys. I believe it. And not in the sense of, oh, they hang out and have mommy dates, but I think in the sense of Lindsay talks to her about things. I don't know why in the world she would. I don't get that. That's something I don't understand at all, because why would you want to tell Katie Joy anything, especially if you're a public figure? You look at all these defamation lawsuits, all of this false information she's put out and the way she puts things out. And it's like, even if Katie Joy was my best friend, I don't think I would be telling her jack squat, y'all. But that's just me. LB said, I spoke to Lindsay's good friend, and she said Lindsay was talking to Katie, but then started seeing who she was, but was scared to say anything negative about KJ because of the way KJ goes after people. LB, are you serious? What? See, this is why I was telling you we should have done this together, because I would have loved to have that conversation with you. Wow. I'm not surprised. It would not surprise me. Oh, wow. Okay. BM said, what has Katie said that hasn't been in the media? Well, I mean, Katie said a lot of stuff, but it was like minute stuff, right? And I said this in my last video too. Like, she's reported, it's not necessarily what she's reported on. A lot of it has been said before, but it's the things she said with it. Like, Katie has a way of reporting on public record, but then she adds in these little speculations, right? And that's where the defaming part comes in, because she'll take something that's a public record and then she adds in little details that's just speculation, but she adds it in with this public information so people believe it to be true. And that's where a lot of people get it, like, really frustrated and say that she's defaming people, because she does that so often. But I said this in my last video, I don't know if Todd's going to win this. The class action, depending on who he's got on board with him and like what's going to happen with all that, there's a chance, right? But I don't know. Like, I have very mixed emotions about that too. Just like I said in my last video, there's a part of me that's like, defamation is really hard to win. We've seen that with the Tati Westbrook. I thought for sure Tati was going to win, okay? Because Katie, if y'all followed that, Katie defamed the crap out of the Westbrooks. And they lost because of jurisdiction. I think if it hadn't been for jurisdiction, I wonder sometimes, would Tati have won? What do you guys think? Do you think that she would have won? I find this very interesting, LB, for real. we're gonna have to get together and do a collab soon or a live and just kind of chit chat about stuff because man, that's very interesting to me. Carrie said, Katie Joy puts herself in the middle of situations that are getting attention, so it will bring her viewers and like, oh yeah, that is what motivates her to do what she does, you know? And the truth of the matter is it's working for her. Even if half of the people who watch her or hate watching her channel is growing, her channel's thriving off of this mess. So, of course, she wouldn't see it as a problem. In fact, I believe it is my conspiracy that she actually. I'm sorry, y'all. The baby's like right at my feet playing her toys, so I hope it's not too distracting. uh, okay. But anyways, it is my conspiracy that when things die down and nothing's going on with Katie, she'll do something purposefully so that people will talk about her. And I've actually seen this in real time. Like a week will go by, nobody said anything about Katie. What will she do? She'll get on a live, she'll say a bunch of crazy stuff, and then she'll delete it after like 30 minutes to an hour of it being up, or she'll put out some crazy tweets because she knows somebody's going to pick it up. And of course, you know, everyone's playing into it, including myself. Okay. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. I'm going to talk about it because if she's doing crazy stuff, if it's something that's big, right? I'm going to tell y'all about it. If it's a lawsuit, if it's something insane, I'm going to tell y'all about it because I know you guys want to hear about it and I want to tell you guys about it. And if that means I'm playing into it, I get it. I understand why people are like, if everybody would just quit reporting on her, da 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 da. But at this point, you guys, I don't see Katie really going anywhere until someone can prove, until one day it's going to nip her in the butt. Somebody is going to knock her down a few notches, okay? It could be Todd Chrisley. If it's not, it'll be someone else, okay? But until then, it is going to be this endless thing. I don't think that many people take Katie seriously. I think most people follow her to stay up to date with the craziness that she does. The people who do follow her or the Duggar content, you know, half of them are there for the Duggar content. But at the end of the day, it's just like any other reality TV star, YouTuber, problematic influencer. She has a name for herself. Her reputation, I don't think people watch her. Not that many. I know there's some people, but I think majority of people who watch her aren't watching her because they think that she's giving nothing but facts. They're watching her for completely different reasons, I believe. And that's my conspiracy. Um, oh, baby. What is it? Grandma, what? All right. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to be on much longer. Let's see. I'm going to catch up with chat though before I go. Katie always talks to these people and then they figure out who she is. Katie wants to be a celebrity more than anything. Yeah, and in her own weird way, you know, people think that she's so big, but really in reality, she's not that big. She's got what 182,000 subscribers in the grand big scheme of things. That's really not that big, and she's been here for what 3, 4 years, 4 years, going on 5 years, something like that. So she's not growing substantially big, but the amount of people she has grown off of is because of all the craziness around her. And there are so many people who follow it, you guys. So, yes, I'm going to talk about it just like other Truth Sleuth and Drama and Opinion, you know, and other people that cover it along with other things that we cover. My channel isn't dedicated to her, but there's a lot of content about her because she's always doing something. She's always in the news. She's always, you know, in the media for craziness. So her subreddit has like over 9,000 people who follow it. You know, like people watch the craziness. They just do, you know. They're watching her train wreck, in my opinion. Yes, True Helper. Absolutely. And you know what? At the end of the day, as long as she's doing it, I'm gonna talk about it, you know. Um, KJ encouraging Lindsay to not have a, let's see here, relationship with her father and siblings was evil, in my opinion. Families disagree, and for KJ to pretend she's not, oh, she's to protect Elsie from TC is insane. Yeah, I agree. I don't think, as a friend or not, it's not your place. Even if you're someone's best friend, my best friend and her parents, it's not a good vibe, right? But I don't insert myself and tell her what to do with her parents. You know what I'm saying? That is personal business. That is personal family business. And it is not my place to tell her what she needs to do and what she shouldn't do. When she's ready to talk to me about it, of course, I'm there for her. And I'll be like, you know, I really hate to see you heartbroken because your dad did this or your mom did that. It really breaks my heart that this happened. What? It's okay. Sissy's at school. So, you know, I don't insert myself, and I don't think Katie should have either, you know, but that's just my opinion. Come here. Come here. Come here. So yeah, I agree with that statement for sure. I definitely do. Come here. Why are you being so fussy, huh? What's the matter? All right, guys. I am going to be heading off here in just a second. The baby is getting anxious. She's done really good, though. I've been on for an hour and 30 minutes and say I've been a little angel. Yes, I have. So I am going to go ahead and get off. She chooses to chase headlines to make the crap out about whatever headlines she knows nothing. Yeah. I've watched a couple of her drunk rants when she goes off on someone for no good reason. I'm telling you guys right now, she does it all on purpose. Aw, thanks, Claudia. Say I sweet. Say I meanie, but I sweet. Aw, you so sweet. She gave me kisses. See, he gave me kisses. Thanks for the time. We all know how it is. Yeah, mom life, you guys. It is what it is. So cute. It's the Baby T show. Thank you, Wildflower T, for having us. Thank y'all for being here. I didn't really expect that many people to get on because it is earlier, but I wanted to wait till like midday. That way everyone could join. Now, if you're just tuning in or if you didn't get to watch majority of this stream, it will be up for replay for a couple of hours. You can't touch the computer. But then after that, it will go to members only. And like I've said, I think a bunch of times in this stream, I will clip it and add in the parts that I think are, you know, worth a conversation and that you guys may be interested in. Thank you, Carrie. I try. I'm not perfect, but I try. Okay, yeah. So it will be up for replay for a little bit. And then I'll clip the parts that I think everyone will be most interested in. But yeah, we're going to go make lunch and I'm going to work on editing some stuff for you guys. I have a video coming tomorrow. Today's Thursday, right? I can't keep up with my days. I have a parent teacher conference at 2, so I got to go get ready and stuff anyways. But then after that, I'm going to be working on some editing and putting some stuff out for you guys. And then I have a creepy video coming out. A creepy video coming out. The creepiest YouTube channels ever. And you guys, disclaimer, trigger warning, whatever, these are creepy. I know one of my subscribers, one of my subscribers mentioned, well, as long as it's really creepy and not corny. So, so I made sure to make it creepy, but it's not for everyone. If you're real squeamish or you don't like scary, creepy, weird, unnerving, disturbing things, you might want to skip this one. I'm not going to show things that are too bad, right? But I am going to be researching some stuff. Y'all, there are some crazy channels out there. Tell them, say crazy. Look at them. Look at the camera. Look, say crazy. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go. I hope y'all all have a great Thursday. I appreciate y'all so very, 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 very much. And until the next time, bye. Say bye. Bye. She's waving. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.